This recording covers information about the topic of cell biology for Science Olympiad. Make sure to read and follow the information about goggles, about what's allowed with their piece of paper, that they can have notes and information from any source in any format, and what type of calculator they can bring with them. Also be aware of what they can't bring with them based on what's in those rules. So read that very carefully and be prepared. The cell biology competition ideally is set up as a lab practical test where students rotate from station to station with the same time at each station as other teams. However, the test may be more of a written test with the data or images included in the questions. Choosing team members can be, how you go about that can be very helpful. Obviously, if the student has an interest in cell biology, that's going to make a better team member than if they're really not interested. It's also helpful if they've recently completed or in the middle of a biology course. It's always nice, especially when events repeat, which they don't always, but where they do, if you can build the team by pairing an older student with a younger student, and then that younger student can mature in the event, and then be paired with a younger student to keep passing on the knowledge. This event covers a lot of material. On the event rules, it lists 12 topics just for regional and state. There are more for nationals. Listed on this page are the 12 for regional and state competitions. You can see this is a lot of information, and it's not all here. There's some more details, like with membrane structure and function, about lipid rafts, which is a little bit more of a 300, 400 college level course, but that's what's on the list. So there's a lot here for students to be thinking about and learning. In addition to that, there are also some process skills that they should come in prepared to be able to answer questions about or use in their process of answering questions. It's fairly typical how to do science and look at data. So how do you prepare for so much content material? First of all, use the resources provided on the national website. There's a training handout, there's a microscope review, there's biology principles review. They have a link to a tour of the cell, helping with that cell structure. This is the cell biology starter pack, is something that a student or the school could purchase if you would find that beneficial. There are some practice activities that are available. Find some basic biology textbooks. Obviously, some high school textbooks are fine. If you can find some college level based on some of the content of the list of topics, that might be beneficial for the students. Of course, then you run into issues of being able to handle that material. There are the OpenStax textbooks, which are free. OpenStax Biology is a majors level designed for 2 semesters of freshman biology. Concepts of Biology is designed as a gen ed for non-majors. Also, if there are any AP biology materials available, the Campbell's biology textbook, these are also really good resources. Another way to prepare is to really be thoughtful about how the student puts their paper together that they can take into the event with them. Not preparing it the night before is one of the first steps to success with this, so preparing very carefully and really including useful information Don't include material that the student knows or could memorize. In all reality, students should be able to memorize cell structure, and every picture is going to be drawn differently. And so if they know what the endoplasmic reticulum is, no matter what the picture looks like, they're in better shape for that. So recognize material to memorize versus include on their sheet of paper. And then they still need to learn as much as possible. So if they could go in and never go to their paper, that would be great. But having those notes available, definitely beneficial. So as they prepare, they shouldn't prepare to just rely on those notes. Obviously, learning while putting the information together will also be beneficial. Find practice tests. The national site often does have study resources there. There is a test exchange, a wiki test exchange. You can do a Google search, put in Science Olympiad cell biology tests, and you can find tests out there. The students could take the tests, then go through the key. Most of those tests have a key with them. Discuss the answers. What did they miss? What did they get correct? Figure out why, figure out what they need to learn, and then go back and take that test again, take a different test, and use those to help them design their study path. It's also helpful for those students to possibly go through and create their own questions. The two members of the team could each create a series of questions on a given topic, which they then give to their teammate, and then go through and discuss those answers. I have included some sample questions on here, but I don't want to make the video too horribly long, but to just be aware of questions and ideas of what might be on this exam. Know the biological monomers and polymers and the tests that go with them. Those are fairly easy to include in a hands-on type of lab. Enzymes, being able to interpret a graph, the data, and answer questions. Labeling, and again, being aware that one cell picture to another will look very different. Knowing how to use a microscope, knowing what it means about the shape of the cells, and then taking that information on further into what does that shape and size suggest about its function, or how does it relate to function. Knowing the bioenergetics, very important. Hopefully this has helped